Hey y'all, it's G and welcome to this video. I am documenting my monthly currently for October 2020. So I have not done this as often as I'd like over the last year, but whenever I look back, I love having a record of all the things that I've been reading, watching, doing, kind of a big overview. It's so much fun to look back on all the things that I enjoyed from the previous month. So I'm going to try and start doing this more often and sharing them more often on YouTube. So I already had gone ahead and printed out the images that I wanted for the monthly currently spread. And these are all activities I've enjoyed spending time with in October. And I printed these all out on my little Sprocket printer, which prints 2x3s. I love this printer. I probably use this printer more than any other printer that I have, just for quick memory keeping. And it's super accessible, really easy to use, and I'm really happy with it. When I cut the 2x3s in half, they're the perfect size for the monthly spreads. And when I cut them down into fourths, they're the perfect size for my weekly spreads. I'm just doing a little bit of fine-tune trimming just to make sure that no white edges are showing and everything's the size that I want them to be. Once I get everything trimmed out, I go ahead and place them down just to kind of see where I might put them on the month. I don't really have a specific plan. I'm not really trying to group these by when the events occurred. So I'm just trying to figure out what would look best where. The item I think that needs the most attention is the one on the bottom left, which is all the YouTube videos that I watched in October. I watched a lot of music reaction videos, and these are two of the YouTube creators I watched the most. Well, the first guy on the bottom left is Jamel, aka Jamal, and his channel is filled with discovering the big music acts of my childhood, the music that I grew up listening and loving to, and he's never heard them before, or if he has, he hasn't given much thought to it. So watching him discover and approve of the music that is so dear to me is so much fun because, you know, just seeing how he reacts and then seeing all the comments from people talking about what song he would like next or what he would really enjoy. It's a lot of fun to watch it. He's such a nice person and all he wants to do is spread love and positivity. So even that's really fun to watch. And the screen cap that I have there is him listening to Ride Like the Wind, which is a song by Christopher Cross. And Michael McDonald did a lot of backup music in the early 80s. And when Jamel listens, and because he knows who Michael McDonald is, when he hears him, he really, his face is so funny because he's like, hey, is that Michael McDonald? Anyway, if you're a big fan of the music in the 70s and 80s, I really recommend watching Jamel's channel. And then the other channel that I have there is Twins. I think it's Twins in the New Trend. These are two young men who were raised on gospel music, I guess. Their grandparents were very strict and wouldn't let them listen to a lot of contemporary music. So their channel is them discovering new music too. But it's a little bit of a different focus because they have really not been exposed to music. Let me just cut to the chase. They are exploring what they think of as old music. So their references are both devastating if you're middle-aged and also very funny because, you know, things have changed. So, for instance, they didn't know that Ice Cube could rap. They have only known him as an actor. So seeing that kind of reaction is just a lot of fun to watch too. And they're just so fun to see how they react to music that I love so much. And, you know, both channels cover a wide variety of music. So if there's something you're into from that era, you'll probably enjoy watching it. So I ended up using just one sticker book for this whole layout, which was kind of cool because I had a lot of stamps and ink out ready to stamp on here, but I didn't need it. Everything was covered in this sticker book. And what I'm doing now is trying to go ahead and tag any kind of big seasonal events. The first one, of course, and the only one is Halloween. So I'm on the ever searching quest to find the perfect pumpkin, the perfect size, and I find that. And then I take a look and think about what other kind of embellishments I want on this page, and I go for these leaves. It's a lot on this page and I haven't touched it at all, so I go for it and put that down on the bottom left-hand side. And then I'm searching for a currently sticker, which is what I really want to use. And I'm not finding anything, and I see that on this page there are these remember stickers, which I think serve as a reminder stickers, but for me, for memory keeping, these would be great to use as remember what happened in this month. So I go ahead and pull that out and see how that will look on the page. Unfortunately, my camera froze up, so I wasn't able to capture all the work I put into these embellishments. But what you see here is what happened after I went through and picked a green remember sticker, added some leaves around there as decoration embellishments, and then also added these sentiment tags. It just worked perfectly for every item that I was into. I really liked how everything worked out with those sentiment tags because there was a lot of unity, but also a lot of variety. I also wanted to highlight this comment from the new edition video, Can You Stand the Rain? Which says, R&B is suffering because no one does know anymore. And if you liked R&B in the 90s like I did, you know exactly what that comment means. And I just had to say, I totally agree. Facts. Since I have the bulk of the layout determined, I can now go back in and put down additional embellishments just to kind of round off the look. As most people know, the US is going through an election cycle, so there was a big push in October for everybody to go out and do early voting. And I'm adding some flair to that because I think it's great to encourage everybody to vote. Then I go ahead and add that element to the left and down just to add more texture and balance to that side. On the next page of the sticker book, there are even more deco stickers that are really a lot of fun. So I just take some time and play with it, find some that match with different sizes, textures, and sprinkle that throughout the spread. Once I've got all the deco stickers down, I take a look at the spread overall, and I think that I can maybe put some text on that top photo, which is a photo of Kyle Reese from the first Terminator movie. But unless you're in the know, you wouldn't be able to tell that, so I think I need to put a title. This is one of my favorite movies, and we watched it in October because I don't do scary movies very well, but I think this one is actually pretty scary. I mean, you really can't tell until one point in the movie who's a good guy and who's a bad guy and what this is all about. And I think the pacing and everything in it is just really great. I'm using these alphas. They come from Kelly Perky's old shop, and I got them because I did a panic buy when she announced she was closing her store. But don't worry, she opened up a new one called Paper Person, and I believe she's selling her alphas again. And I'll put a link below if you're interested in looking at them for yourself. These tiny little alphas were a little bit harder to work with than I thought, and I just really got too tired to punch the counters out of them, so I left the counters in. Kind of like it though. It looks slightly off kilter, just like the movie. And finally, I did a tiny bit of journaling to document that we went back camping since COVID started, and that was nice to just get out there and be outside of the house. And I made several Thankful 30 journals for friends and family. I had a lot of fun doing that. And of course, the vote, which has been on everybody's mind. So that is my memory keeping for October 2020. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I hope you had fun watching it and it inspires you to do some memory keeping for yourself. Have a great week. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.